Hi everyone, I'm AJ Wiesner and listening to our T3 Technologies podcast. This is episode 2. Today, we're going to be talking about a topic that some people find very controversial. It's going to be about working from home. And how do people feel about that? We're going to talk about how the landscape has drastically been refined in the working world ever since COVID. So, we're going to dig in right now. So let's bring on somebody that I've known for a very long time. He is just a great guy. He's a veteran. I would say war hero, but I know he's not going to accept that at all. And he's been a technician. He's been in sales. He's been in logistics. He's been all over the place. And also, Tony's a world traveler. So let me bring on, my sales rep and my friend, Tony Jimenez. Tony, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, AJ. Yeah, certainly not a hero. I'm flattered by the intro there. That's great. As AJ mentioned, I'm the sales manager or his sales associate, whatever you wanted to call me there, here at T3. And for those that don't know, I got my start in telecom in the Army. I actually worked with AJ's father's company right when I got out of the Army before starting school at Penn State for supply chain management. And yeah, I'm just excited to be here and talking about today's topic. The hybrid workplace is exciting, especially because I am the premier hybrid worker here at T3 Technologies as I live in the Bay.
Certainly is. I tell you what, Tony, I'm ready to dig into this data because I've spent many hours, days even, researching this data because I thought it would go one way. And here it completely went a different direction from everything that I've read. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean,
living here in the Bay right now, like it's actually split in like the technology world, right? Like there's people that are coming back into the office in like the tech world, and then like also like Salesforce is right across the street from me. The Salesforce building, they kind of got rid of all their office space in a building called the Salesforce building. Like it's like it's a landmark here in San Francisco, and it's funny to see like the split on the hybrid versus the get back to the office model.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine that the Salesforce building is probably 80% vacant, 90% vacant at this point.
Yeah. It's a funny juxtaposition because they have like the Salesforce building. It's like Salesforce, and like there's a WeWork office in there. So it's kind of like, hey, like Salesforce, nobody works from here. And then like WeWork is like, oh, we're hybrid people. It's just interesting. I don't know. It's a funny topic right now.
You probably got the janitor, right? The maintenance guy, right?
Yeah. It's funny to bring that up. That's what Elon Musk take on like the whole hybrid working or the work remote thing. He's like, it's almost like a caste system or like some kind of hierarchy. It's not fair to certain people that can't work from home. You know what I mean? And it's typically like the service jobs like that we would associate with not being like the best paid, things of that nature. So very interesting topic. It has actually become controversial, which is wild. It's a pretty crazy thing for me. So.
The data actually supports that as well. So what Elon Musk is actually saying, it's kind of funny. As I said, the data that I pulled, I was shocked. I really was. So, and so much so, Tony, and anybody that knows anything about me, I had to get my coffee today because to dig into this, I had to be ready and prepared. And, my man Luke over there at the Wise Bean, we here at Steel Pixel Studios in Bethlehem, and they're a production company for this great podcast that we're doing.
And shameless plug there.
Yeah.
Moses one there. Yeah.
my man Luke, the one time I walked in there and I said, I want something with peanut butter and chocolate. Can you hook me up? And my man Luke over at Wise Bean, he hooked me up. So yeah, good guy. Anybody in the area, I would say go visit him. So he's pretty cool. So, all right, Tony, you ready to dig into this?
So we're already getting this second episode. We're looking for sponsorship. That's awesome.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. So you ready? You ready to hear this, Tony? You ready to hear this data? Because this is
Yeah.
actually really crazy. So all right, here we
Bounce
go.
it off, man. Let's go.
Now I'm going to go into this. I'm going to say this first: is that for some people, you may agree with this data and you may disagree. You may have a certain political point of view with another political point of view. This is just raw data. So this has no political affiliation whatsoever. This is strictly statistics, and that's it. So, don't come in the comments saying, oh, well, you should have said this instead. This is strictly statistics. So first statistic that I found amazing is that, Tony, there are only 29% of Americans that have a job description that gives them the ability to work from home.
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah.
All right. So we think of work from home. We think everyone's working from home. The truth is that there are 71% of jobs in the United States, such as, nurses, doctors, maintenance men, manufacturing. So, so what we do, as being on-site technicians and,
yeah,
pulling cable,
construction workers,
construction workers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So whereas,
service and trades, basically. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas like there are other, marketing can work from home. IT definitely can work from home if needed. So there are certain industries that have that ability, but only 29% of Americans have a job description that gives them the ability to work from home. So
all right, more
crazy numbers here. Again, these numbers are based upon June of 2023. So,
okay.
Again, Tony, hours pulling this data. So there are.
Did you actually do the surveys, or were you out there like doing?
I was doing research. There? I was.
Okay. So you didn't do these surveys. You didn't conduct these surveys.
No,
okay.
No. It was like Family Feud. We surveyed, 100 people. So no, this is all obviously somebody else conducted this survey, and then we pulled all the relevant data from these surveys. So yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So we surveyed 100 people.
It's a good sample size. Yeah.
So okay, so here we go. June 2023. There are 135.6 million full-time employees in the United States right now. So these are full-time employees, people that are actually working in the United States. I don't know what the population in the United States is, so don't ask me that question.
It's about 300 million.
Probably.
Say a little north of that. Probably.
Right. So about a third of Americans have full-time jobs, right? Again, 2023, there are 12.7%, roughly about 17 million people currently working from home. So, and we're gonna phrase that now as WFH, or working from home, because we like acronyms, right? So, all right. So also, 28.2%, or about 38 million people, currently working in a hybrid environment. So, and for those listeners, I'm sure you're all aware, work from home designates that you strictly work from home. You do not come into the office. And then obviously hybrid means that you are in the office certain days and then you're working from home certain days.
Was there any threshold on that? Like you had to work one day a week, or like
there
1 month
was
of the year?
No,
I'm for the hybrid.
From what
I'm
I've
kidding.
seen.
I'm
Yeah, from the hybrid. Yeah, from what I see. No,
I'm trying to see how many hours you really spent on this research that you're talking about. So
that's for
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Coming up in the next episode 3. So, okay. So, and now obviously there are companies that are introducing hybrid models right now. Some of those companies are Microsoft, Target, Amazon, HubSpot, Google, and Airbnb. So those companies are currently introducing the hybrid model. And obviously there are some companies currently that are bringing their employees back to the office on a hybrid model. Cut there. All right, yeah, I stuttered. So I'm going to rephrase that. So there are some companies that are bringing back their employees on the hybrid model that were strictly work from home. And then there are some companies that are going full remote. So some of those companies are Cash App is one of them, Dropbox, Grindr, and a company called Gum. So,
Okay.
yeah, I never heard of Gum Gum before, but apparently they do online media research, things of that nature. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, if you're from Gum Gum, give me a call. Let me know what you do.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway, with that said, Tony, with that data that we currently have, I find it staggering. First of all, that only 29% of Americans have the ability to work from home.
Well, I mean, your numbers that's 40% that are at least sometimes working from home, right? If
Correct.
we're looking at the 28 and the 12 there.
Right.
So so that I mean like that's a significant amount of people that wow, it's almost not only anymore. That's almost we're teetering on the majority there. You're like 40% with people that are so hey,
Right.
I think it's
And
good. It's good for us. It's good for
it is. And again, it's a hot topic. And obviously, COVID changed this whole landscape, right? So COVID went and changed the playing field. Ironically, Tony, and again, I don't have this in my notes, so but I'm gonna speak outside of my notes here. Apparently, there was a work from home movement that started prior to COVID.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I remember that when I first started, like after I was done working with your father, I finished my degree, and then I went into like my corporate America job. And I remember I was just always lobbying to get like I was working to get at least 2 work from home days a week. I was trying to like I was like, all right, how do I was working in Conshohocken, and then I was living in Philly, and I was like, oh, okay, for the summer, if I could have like a work from home day on Friday and Monday, I could get a beach house and like justify the cost. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like, so
yeah,
I could go to like Jersey Shore every all summer and like spend 4 days there and then 4 days in Philly. You know what I mean? Like, or
yeah.
3 days in Philly. So that was my ambition with that. So yeah, I do remember this being a thing. And again, I'm already a 12 percenter right now. So
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
I
I've
would
I've
say,
always
yeah,
aspired. Like I'm a bit of a traveler, so I like to keep it moving. But
yeah, yeah. And
so
Tony,
that
you were just in where were we? South America? No, Central
Central,
America.
yeah, I spent a few weeks in Guatemala last month, so
Right, right.
that was fun.
And you worked from Guatemala, and you were able
I
to.
did, and it was exhausting. Switching from English to Spanish every day, it was brutal. Yeah, shout out to
Yeah.
technology for making it possible.
Well, it's definitely a but and again, that's gonna be a topic in our next episode that we're going to record. Is one of the benefits of a work from home environment is that geography is no longer an issue when it comes to employing your
No, no, it's not,
employees.
and like a technology plays a real big role in that. I mean, and I hate to be the sales guy here, but like ever since
Well,
we made the switch to like
you are the
our
sales guy.
hosted phone system, uh,
Yeah.
I've been able to do quite a bit. I've worked from Paris,
Yep.
Nice,
Yep.
Guatemala, Barcelona, Australia. So I've done quite a few things, and like hopefully it was not that interrupted to our typical business flow. I coupled in some vacation days, but
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
at a
Yeah.
small company, my vacation days don't really mean too much. It's mostly me just working wherever I'm
Yeah.
at. So
Well, and you might remember too, we were working with, we're doing a project during COVID. Obviously, we're doing a lot of projects during COVID, as well as most of the IT companies in the United States, where we're working on a project for a medium-sized business that wanted the ability for their employees to work from home. And we were working with, it's a rather larger project for us, at least, and we're working with Avaya directly. And there was a girl from Avaya that we were working with, and she was working from Hawaii.
cut,
And
cut. Let's cut. Let's not refer to the ladies as girls. Let's just call them someone.
all right,
What do you
okay,
think, Tim? That's a good run
It's
back.
fine, whatever. Oh, that's fine, whatever works.
all right, okay, all right.
All right, my bad. I didn't mean to interrupt you, kill your flow
Well,
there, but
where was I? Okay, all right. I'm gonna start with the in COVID. All right.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I'll start over with that. Okay.
Okay,
So yeah. So you're gonna be able to cut that out, Tony or Tim, right? You're gonna be able to.
You
Yeah,
got
yeah,
this.
yeah. I got it. All right.
He's
Okay.
gonna have
Yeah,
to.
I
It's
can't
already
see.
done.
I can't see behind the light, Tim. So all right. All right, cool. Thank you, Tim. Yeah, Tony. So if you remember, during COVID, we were working on a rather large project, and there were a lot of projects obviously going on during COVID, trying to immediately change the work landscape so that way everybody could work from home because there were
Right.
lockdowns, obviously, in March. And we were working with someone from Avaya on a rather large project, and they had a dad that lived in Hawaii.
Okay.
And obviously, he had some health ailments as well. And there was concerns that, with COVID coming, would the father be able to take care of himself? So this employee was able to work remotely in Hawaii with their dad. And then obviously the time zone was a factor because they're 6 hours behind. And this employee had to work on East Coast time. But nonetheless, this person was able to work remotely. And again, the whole landscape has changed even from that perspective, where, work from home or even, the hybrid environment, it's, it's going to be here to stay. It's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah. And again, putting my sales hat on again, one thing that I found as we moved from just kind of that like exceptional work from home person to like 12 to 40% of people working from home, is that there's actually been some like price development as well. So in the past, I like to think of myself as like an advocate for the customer. I mean, it's basically like my pitch every time I talk to people. Like just think of me as a free consultant. I'm here. I'm not going to sell you anything that doesn't make sense. And right now I find that it's becoming more and more typical to adopt the hybrid. Like if you have a hybrid environment, it
Right.
makes a lot of sense to adopt like our hosted solutions, like VPN configuration and things of that nature. Again, sales stuff. Tim told me not to do this, but that it's really
Our
true.
producer,
Like,
our producer Tim said, "Don't do anything salesy."
yeah, he said don't be salesy. But like this isn't like a sales thing. This is like, hey, we could save you a bunch of money. I mean, I find like these people with like they'll have like 10 people working at their office and they'll have 10 separate phone lines. And for that same amount of money that they're spending on their phone bill, I can migrate them to a hosted solution with Ring Central,
Right.
and they're going to be saving so much money with a way more robust phone system with all this technology that like makes me able to be, and this is anecdotal, I get it, makes me be able to work from Guatemala or work
Yep.
from here in California or
Right.
wherever I'm at, like, and you get like this robust functionality and you save money. So you like not only do you improve your technology and your equipment and your experience for this like hybrid work model, but you actually save a bunch of money monthly. Like it's not just like a one-time thing. It's like you are going to save so much indefinitely.
Yep. Yep.
And
For,
who knows what the productivity gains are.
right.
And maybe
Right.
you'll switch going back to maybe you'll go back eventually to this office model. But like I find that this is really this hybrid solution, like some of this technology actually saves you money while you're still in that transition phase.
Right.
And it doesn't even stop there. It doesn't even stop with just like location based stuff. I mean, if you think about our industry, AJ, we've been doing like this hybrid thing. We've always had field technicians.
Right.
It's not like we work from like one building. We have people out in the field all the time. So to have that connectivity, to be able to like, hey, like if somebody has a question about a project that one of our techs did, we can get on the phone with that technician immediately, like they're
Right.
in the same office as us. So, um, yeah,
No.
yeah. I'm
No.
sorry, I kind of got carried away. I guess Tim
Absolutely.
was right. Like, don't put
Nope.
on your sales hat,
Keep,
like, because
keep,
I'll
keep,
just keep
keep
going.
going. Keep going. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. No, and you're
Yeah,
right. And you're right. So obviously the need to communicate with employees that weren't based in the office was always a need. So, and again, I've been in this industry for many
yeah,
years, and hello, children out there of the new industry.
yeah.
But before, back in the day, right? So you had your pager. I mean, when I first started, that's what we had. We had a pager. So
Right,
and we carried around quarters. That's how old I am.
right.
Yeah. So then obviously that migrated to radios. So we had Motorola radios that you can only use in a certain geographic area. And if you went to if we did work, I don't know, let's say like in Harrisburg, you were done. You were done.
Right,
You're
right.
not
You
getting
can you can get in touch.
no
Yeah.
communication there at all. And then we went to Nextels, so we had the push to talk, and you also had a cell phone.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
that was a
fancy.
short phase. That was a short
Yeah.
phase with
That
like
was
the
a
little
short
push to
phase.
talk
Yeah.
thing. That was cute.
Right,
Yeah.
right. One day I'll bring on a guest that used to work at Nextel. So, and then we moved on to cell phones, right? And then you moved on to apps onto cell phones that you can communicate.
Yeah.
So I remember when texting was like a big deal. And then you remember, Tony, like way back when you had to pay per text, and you paid like a cent or whatever it was for every text that you sent and received.
I do.
Remember? Yeah. So,
Oh man,
and
I bought a StarTech Motorola when I was in 12th grade of high school, just so you know. And I remember that you were able to reach me through a website. You could text me from a website.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
And then,
getting old.
but
But like,
you were
yeah.
billed for that though. You were still billed for that text, right? As it came through the
Oh
website.
yeah, like every inbound text I got
Yeah,
paid, I had to pay for.
yeah.
Like once I hit like my limit of like 200 texts, which that'd be crazy for Gen Z right now. They would not know what to do.
Fun fact,
Um,
way back when, that was like 1,000% markup. So it
yeah,
cost the
yeah,
cell phone companies 1,000% less for you to send a text than what they were charging you for each text. So yeah,
yeah.
great. Yeah, those are good
We'll see.
times, man. Good times. So, but
But
obviously,
yeah, no, it goes beyond that. But like the one big thing now is like, you know, in our industry, we had to be communicating naturally because of the field stuff, and then also just
right,
because we're a communications company, we had to be in touch with people if we were going to sell our products. Like
right.
if we're not living it, like it's really a hard pitch for the sales guy. But
It's true. You have to use
the
it. You have to
for
use
us
that
now,
surface. Yeah.
it's graduated with like the hybrid models. We're not just like doing the connectivity because everybody has that connectivity now. Everybody has a cell phone. What
Yep.
we do now is work on user experience and like the customer's experience.
Correct.
So if someone calls into our shop and they have a question about something, we can get answers right away. We don't have to like say, "Oh, why don't you call AJ? Here's his cell phone number," right? We can like kind of get them on the horn right there, have a little group chat, get to the bottom of it. If we can't get in touch with AJ, they don't have to call us back. We have them on the phone. You know what I mean? And I think that like that's the biggest thing that I've found um with like the hybrid solutions that we have now with the hosted in particular. Before it never made sense. It didn't have like a impact. It had an adverse or negative impact on the bottom line. But I
Yep.
think today it's really not only is it like adding value in terms of technology and user or customer experience, but it's actually saving you money too. So it's really, really interesting how much has changed in the
I,
short time that I've been in telecom. The
I,
short 20, well, oh my God, 20 years.
yeah,
Ugh.
it's not a short time, Tony. It's not a short time.
Oh my God, the short 2 decades.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And
I
it's like
turned 40 this year, AJ. I turned 40.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, some of us are getting older. Some of us are a little older than that. And there are some people that are a lot older. I mean, yeah, well, obviously everyone knows that my dad was in the industry. And he started off many moons ago. And my dad got out of the Navy, and how he got started his career was he was a janitor for Bella, Pennsylvania. And then he got promoted from within, from being a janitor to being on the line crew. He's a lineman, and he actually installed wires on poles. And then, and from there, then he got into business telecommunications. And when he got into it, into business telecommunications, there was no digital technology. It was all hardwired and physical relays. So that was probably back in the 60s for my dad. Moving forward, obviously
60s.
the
Oh my
60s.
God.
Yeah. So, and then from there, you move forward into the digital age, right? So where you had a on-prem telephone system with lines that came in, whether they were digital lines or they were analog. Different types of ways to communicate. Now, look at us now. I mean, we have like many different business models to go ahead and help your business with their technology. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild to be still maintaining things that we were using and maybe even your father was using, like
Wow.
back when he was
Yeah.
a field tech. Like it's crazy to like
Yeah.
run into a T1, you know what I mean? Or like or even a PRI, man. That's pretty antiquated stuff these days. So,
We have a couple of customers with the PRI. So, well, we have a
and they should call
customer.
me. You guys should call me right away. Like, if
Yeah.
you got a PRI, we could save you a bunch of money every month. I promise.
We got
T3
a,
guarantee. The T3 guarantee.
I'm not going to name drop any names yet. You
No,
know,
no, please don't.
But we have a customer that's pretty profound for being in the Lehigh Valley, and he has a phone system in his house, and that baby there, his phone system specifically, I believe was discontinued in 1997, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's still working.
Yeah, it's still working to this day. Right.
Yeah. Sales
And-
hat again. Guys,
Right.
get a phone system with us. It'll last another 30 years. You'll be good to go.
The
Like,
ROI
it's not that big of an investment.
The ROI is unbelievable.
And you'll have a screen on your phone instead of like a flashing red light.
Right.
Right.
So, and obviously, obviously with the different work models, correct? With only, technically speaking, you think about it, 29% of Americans that can work from home, there's still a need yet for on-prem phone systems. So, and for those that listening in, and there are different types of phone system models we're going to talk about. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you next episode. Thanks everyone.